happy to see you here. Boy, things have been happening around here, Tony. Hey, listen, the Four Horsemen, they might not rule wrestling much longer. One of them's already gone down in defeat. Tully Blanchard used to be world television champion. Nikita Koloff now is the champion. What about the world heavyweight champion, Ric Flair?
Well, you know what they say. If first you don't get it right, you try again.
Amen.
Ron Garvin, the man with the hands of stone, he could be a stumbling block for the world heavyweight champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair, because those two men have been going at it. Also, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Little situation here. Who is after who? Is Lex Luger chasing the legend, or is Dusty Rhodes after that U.S. heavyweight title?
We're going to find more about that in the program. But listen, we got Paul Jones here right now. Paul, come on in. I want to talk about your Army.
Let me tell you, everybody's asking me about my Army. Well, the Raging Bull is biting at the bits for us to be reorganized. Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear, is ready, and the Big Barbarian is ready. And I have a friend on the West Coast that is sending me the most awesome person in the world. Something that is going to complete my Army. And let me tell you something, in 2 weeks from now, you're going to see the completed Army of number one, Paul Jones, and that's a promise.
All right, let's go to action. John Royal of the New Breed. A cut above.
What a great athlete Sean Royal is. You know, he made it clear last week about Chris Champion, the other half of the New Breed, and he promised us in 4 weeks the New Breed will be back together.
That's right. And you know, we've been before as a tag team combination.
They're great. A great tag team, and they were really, David, you knew it, I knew it. They were on their way right to the top. And now they're going to be back together again. There's no doubt Sean Royal is in great condition. Against Larry Stevens, Teddy Long, the referee. We got a great program here today.
Oh, that we do. Listen, you've got to watch it. We talked about the Four Horsemen. All right, they sent Arn Anderson after Ron Garvin. They're trying to put him out of action.
They call Arn Anderson the enforcer. We're going to take a look at what happened between Arn Anderson and Ron Garvin, but it involves much more than those two men. They got to throw in the rest of the horsemen, J.J. Dillon and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. It was really a situation we're going to have to take a long look at here in just a few moments.
He is sure of himself. You have to be.
Yeah, that's right. You got to be. When you're a youngster like Sean Royal is, confidence is really a strong point for you, and it certainly is for him.
Look at this. He has everything to be a champion. He and his partner, Chris Champion. Look at this. Nice move. There he goes.
That's right. Quickly, before Larry Stevens can get up. Right across the chest.
Hooks him for the pin. Just think about it. The New Breed, Sean Royal.
Now down to 3 weeks.
League of Professional Wrestling.
Galaxy today. Numero uno being Ron Garvin trying to ride Space Mountain. Well, baby, maybe you should put your wig on and go sashay your booty down to Bourbon Street, New Orleans Law, and check out a club or two, and you might find a bit of better business if you know what I'm talking about. And now the Horsemen. The Horsemen couldn't have made a better analogy of the Dusty Rhodes Dream's blatant chokehold. After all, how could the son of a plumber with a mentality of mechanical tools possibly have the knowledge to apply a proper wrestling hold? And now, last but not least, the new breed via space phone of Chris Champion. 3 weeks, he will be coming back. 3 weeks, Chris Champion will be in the squared circle.
We'll be back with more action right after this.
The Four Horsemen, Mr. James J. Dillon. JJ, I got to ask you up front the question everybody's asking. Are the Four Horsemen falling apart?
Bob Caudle, what has happened is that the longest reigning world television champion of all times has been dethroned. And I might add that that decision is currently under appeal for what I feel are at best or at least extenuating circumstances. But true, there are a lot of armchair geniuses sitting there at home that figured that the Four Horsemen, that the Rock of Gibraltar has started to crumble. We're falling apart. Well, it's going to take more than Nikita Koloff with a foreign object stuffed in his tights to destroy the Horsemen. It's going to take more than the tenacity and the knockout punch of Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, to tumble the Four Horsemen. And it's sure going to take more than the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and this Weaver lock to break the Four Horsemen up. Let me ask you a question. Well, first of all, we already know that the Weaver lock is a blatant out-and-out chokehold. But let's for just 1 minute assume that somehow the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, had in fact mastered the sleeper hold. Now, can you tell me how a 300-pound master of the sleeper hold can apply that hold while 6 feet in the air in a torture rack across the shoulders of the total package Lex Luger?
No
Can
way.
you explain that to me?
No, it couldn't be done.
If you can't understand what I'm talking about, maybe if you take a look at this, everything will kind of fall in place. Bob Caudle, what an awesome sight I beheld in that picture. You know, Johnny Weaver may not be a familiar name to the total package other than a little nostalgic film clip every now and then in which he's seen him. But let me tell you something, Lex. If Johnny Weaver continues sticking his nose in and has to be dealt with, I would like nothing better than do that myself. But I can see as far as handling the American Dream, you're more than taking care of that. What we've just seen, and what everyone's seen at home, is the Four Horsemen serving notice. And when we serve notice, we play for keeps. And you know why? Because the NWA pro wrestling style is big money and big bucks. This is how we make our livelihood. This is how we pay our bank notes. This is how we pay for our cars and our homes and our food. And when somebody threatens our livelihood, you're damn straight that we don't play fair. You may be saying all the Four Horsemen don't play fair. Well, that's too bad. I thought it was kind of funny sitting at home when Nikita Koloff stole the world television title from Tully Blanchard with a foreign object. They thought it was kind of funny. The numerous times that Ronnie Garvin tried to embarrass the world heavyweight champion, they thought it was kind of funny. When the American Dream busted into my locker room and put me to sleep with an illegal, blatant chokehold from behind. From behind. Well, who's laughing now? When Ronnie Garvin was getting his brains stomped out on the mat. And when the legend himself was up on my shoulders, feeling as if his spinal cord was going to get snapped in two. Who's laughing then?
All right, fans, there it is from Lex Luger, James J. Dillon. We'll be back right after this.
They're holding up for one reason. You see him in the right-hand corner of your screen. The Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, and his manager, Paul Jones.
I'll tell you. Down by the pin, all right. George South coming right out of the blocks with a flurry, and Jones. What about the remark he made about having a new man in his stable in 2 weeks?
That's right, the new army. I went from the West Coast. I wonder who that's going to be. Guess we'll just have to wait and find out. What about this man? Ivan Koloff, the general.
And you know, the showing of the American flag means a lot that Ivan doesn't like, but it also means that the fans around here respect what he does and what he means against athletes from America.
And he does it so well. Look what he did with Nikita Koloff. He brought him over here. He coached him, and now Nikita really is the new Russia. And what a wrestler he is.
Nikita Koloff, the world television champion.
Watch Ivan. He enjoys this.
One thing I know that Ivan taught, and Ivan goes by himself, David, you can see it right here. You can see it with Nikita Koloff. That is intensity. When that bell rings, he is all muscle and all straight ahead.
Right there. Takes advantage of every opportunity. He saw Sal fall into the ropes, and then he went after him. Staying on him constantly. Sal trying to fight back.
The NWA, the Franklin High School Gym in Franklin, North Carolina. Wednesday, September 23rd. The bell time there is 8:15. Colt Steele will take on T.J. Khan, the Italian Stallion, against the Barbarian. Todd Champion against Sean Royal of the New Breed. The Mod Squad on the card will take on Kendall Windham and Lasertron. Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Vine against the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff. And a special challenge match. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin will take on the Raging Bull along with Paul Jones. Wednesday, September 23rd, the bell time 8:15. The Franklin High School Gym, the NWA.
Ryan Jones now. You always have to watch him. What about the other monster they have in their army? The Barbarian.
That's just a walking lethal weapon is what that is. The Barbarian.
He's trying to stand up and fight him. You can't do that. Fight him with the sickle.
One step ahead. Something we've talked about before, and something that you can apply right here. The save!
Now he's got the save. Referee Kenny Long, he doesn't see it. He's talking to the corner. He's trying to choke him. He knows just exactly how long he can do it.
And Paul Jones knows too. The damage has been done. Twice over.
Man's going to take him. Ram his head right into the mat. And the victory goes to the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff. Look at this. Takes him by the hair and drives that head face first right down in the mat. Your winner, Ivan Koloff with Paul Jones. Just part of the arm race.
The man with the hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin. Ronnie, what about the Four Horsemen?
Well, you know, the tough individual, everybody knows they're not going to back down from nobody, obviously, especially when there are four of them together. Well, they just proved something to me, that Ric Flair's shaking his boot. Ric Flair's panicking, you see, because he's sending the enforcer. None other than AA, Arn Anderson. Well, you're a tough man, man. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you credit. You're a fighter just like I am, but I'm going to tell you, you don't intimidate me. You know, the Dream told me, he says, when you're going after Ric Flair, when you go over the world's heavyweight title, he says, I've been there. And he says, they're going to come at you. They're going to come at you real hard. They're going to come at you from every angle. They're not going to stop. They're not going to slow down at anything. And the Dream was right. But you see, and he also told me, he says, anytime I can help you, I will. And he proved it to me. He risked his life in that ring to help me. But they see it hasn't worked, Four Horsemen. I'm still standing. So is the Dream. So is a lot of people. So obviously you're panicking. And you got good reason to panic, because I'm going to tell you what you got around your waist, Ric Flair, I will take. I am not intimidated. As a matter of fact, you see, you got me a little madder. And the madder I get, the more dangerous I get, you see. You're dealing with a pit bull. You're dealing with somebody you can't hurt, somebody you can't stop, somebody you can't intimidate, somebody you can't scare. Because I got it right here, Ric Flair, and you are going to go down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something. I am not blowing hot hair out here. I am not just running my jaws. I am telling a fact. The fact is, before long, Ric Flair, you will be without a title. And ladies, by the way, I'm shutting down Space Mountain, so hurry up for your last ride because it's going to be closed real soon, and that is a promise. Only one thing could happen to Ronnie Garvin is God would stop me, and I'm going to tell you he's on my side because I pray God every day, and I'm coming for you, Flair.
There he is. Barry Windham, the Western States Heritage Champion. And what a champion he is, Tony. This young man, he's going to go all the way up the ladder.
And we knew he would. We knew he would be a great champion. We all said as soon as he gets his hands on a title, then you're going to watch a man hold on to a belt because he can do it.
He is after a few more championships too, Tony.
Well, all champions will tell you if you just sit back and let them come at you and just defend your title, then, you know, maybe things will start to get rusty for you. Barry Windham, not like that at all. You got to keep that hunt alive within you. Members of the Four Horsemen can tell you that, even though many of them have titles.
You know, he has that instinct because he comes from a wrestling family. That's right. His brother Kendall Windham, and then his father, Blackjack Mulligan.
Some great athletes.
Plug it out with him.
No.
This young man knows how to fight.
Not only that, great stamina, so if you want to go toe-to-toe and punch it out with him, your punches have to be on target, and they have to be a lot of them.
He takes his time. He knows exactly what he wants to do. And here it comes. He nailed him that time.
Barry Windham is 6'7", and he jumped up way over 6 foot off the ground from a standing position.
Barry's also close to 270, 275 pounds too. Big one. Now he's not finished with it yet.
We talked about Barry being after a title. He and Nikita Koloff together make a fine team, and he and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin all after that U.S. Tag Team battle held by the Midnight Express.
Very impressive win by the Western States Heritage Champion, Barry Windham.
David, you know, from the word go, it was just a matter of time for Barry Windham would say lights out to Bernadine, and there was the flying lariat. The Western States Heritage Champion looking good.
Rocky with the Four Horsemen. Here's the man that's still the king of the hill, the world heavyweight champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Rick?
Well, I'm going to tell you something, my friend, and I'm going to talk to everybody out there in the general public that's got a real problem with understanding the success story of a lifetime. And I'm not just talking about myself the last 5 years. I'm talking about 4 other guys by the name of Luger, Dillon, Blanchard, and Anderson. I'm talking about the success story of a lifetime. And this, my friend, right now is a sign that the whole wrestling world lives by. And what I am, Garvin, and Dusty Rhodes, and Barry Windham, and Nikita Koloff, I'm the quarterback on this ball club. And we're all paid a lot of money because we're successful. We're not paid money because we're losers. So you see, when you try to jump on the quarterback, then the linebackers and the defensive ends and the quarterback and the coach all say, boys, get together. We got to keep the quarterback on its feet. We got to go to the Super Bowl again. And that's where we've been ever since we got together. That Super Bowl. That's where I've been my whole life. So, Ronnie Garvin, you're looking at a man that's made close to $10 million in his wrestling career.
You're looking at a man that lives, breathes, sweats, bleeds success. You're looking at the world champion. And I'll be damned if you or Dusty Rhodes or anybody else will cut off my success. In other words, pal, you're going down, and I'll stand on top of the wrestling world with the Four Horsemen. Woo!
To the ring now, fans.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest American hero since Oliver North, beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan, the Midnight Express.
United States Tag Team Champions. Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan Lane. Managed by none other, little old mouthpiece. Oh, yeah. Jim Cornette.
You know, even if he wouldn't have a lot to talk about,
He'd find something.
he'd find something. Of course, that's never stopped him before. But he has a lot to talk about with these two men, Sweet Stan and Beautiful Bobby, because, you know, realistically, they have not been together that long, but they have gelled into one of the greatest tag teams in the NWA.
Who are you talking about?
David, how long it's been since we've seen each other? You know,
Ain't been long enough.
I understand that Jim Crockett Promotions, the mailman and hunchback, bringing the mail to you every day, demanding that the Midnight Express be seen on television more often. But the fact of the matter is, we're defending our U.S. Tag Team belts all over the country, all over this great country of America, that we are the champions of, that we do represent, being U.S. Tag Team champions. And unfortunately, we don't have time like we'd like to get over here and make you people's day for you on television as often as we used to. But we are in the future going to try to schedule a few more appearances. But unfortunately, I think the only appearance Ricky Nelson's going to schedule is going to be with his chiropractor brother, because Sweet Stan Lane just did a number on him that Ajax won't take off. You know, the burden is so heavy. I know Tony Schiavone's sitting over there dumbstruck. He knows that the burden is heavy when you got talent like Beautiful Bobby does, when you got talent like the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette in general, when you go up to the top rope and you fly like Beautiful Bobby. The burden is so heavy to be this great that somebody's got to do the job, so we're going to do it. And let me tell you something else. I know that Ronnie and Jimmy Garvin are a team, and Jimmy Garvin and Barry Windham, and Ronnie Garvin and Barry Windham, and Barry and Kendall Windham, the human Q-tip. And now I understand Michael Hayes is coming into the picture, the fabulous Flea Bird. He's going to be teaming up with Jimmy Garvin. I don't know when they're going to drag Precious in the ring, but the fact of the matter is, all of them coming after the U.S. Tag Team belts, the Road Warriors are coming after them. We've signed a contract to defend against the Superpowers, Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff.
I'd like to see that.
Let me just say this. I don't care who the Midnight Express gets in the ring with, brother. They are going to be the U.S. Tag Team champions forever and always. What do you think about that, Dave, Al? Kind of got real close, didn't he?
What's this team, though? Sweet Stan, look at that. What kick? Cravat kick.
Look at that karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, sifu, ball. That man's a black belt and everything. He's a great athlete, and they work so.
Look at this teamwork. Now watch it.
What do you call that move? You have a name for all your moves. What do you call that? What do we call that? I'll tell you what we call that. What's the matter with you, David? I'll tell you what we call that, and I'll tell you next week. I'm going to save something for a little surprise.
Okay, thanks.
I'll tell you what you call the whole thing. You call it precision. You call it teamwork. You call it timing. You call it clockwork. These guys go together just like bacon and eggs, brother.
Oh, great move by Sweet Stan. Right, that was a
I
roundhouse
want to
kick.
tell you something. I'm getting a little sick and tired of these weirdo cameramen like this guy. Where did you get him? Out of a reformatory? He has got to be the weirdest looking guy I've ever laid my eyes on. I want to concentrate on what's going on in the ring. I don't want these idiots out here at ringside disrupting my men. when you think about it, their delicate psyches being stars, being superstars. Hey, get it down! See there? If it hadn't been for these window cameramen, he wouldn't have gotten rattled like that.
Neckbreaker.
The thing about Beautiful Bobby is when you think you got him down, he can always come back with a move like that. Oh, yeah! Do you realize, David Crockett, have you ever realized what it would be like to have millions of women lusting after you like Sweet Stan Lane, the gangster of love, does? Have you ever realized what it'd be like to have thousands of boys all across America wanting to grow up to be like you, like Beautiful Bobby does? And have you ever realized what it might be like to get caught in the grave digger, just like Dexter Westcott is about to be? This is the grave digger, and brother, it's going to put him 6 feet under. Woo! No denying that's an awesome move, David.
It is. Did you see that head when it hit the net? Just bounced up.
Bounce the noggin right back up, you're right.
The United States Tag Team Champions, the Midnight Express. Awesome move. I can feel that one.
It shook the ground beneath the ring. And that's why I guess it's called the Grave Digger. More great action. Nikita Koloff, the Mod Squad, and others. Third, the bell time is 8:15. The Franklin High School Gym in Franklin, North Carolina. T.J. Khan will take on Cold Steel. The Barbarian on the cup, going up against the Italian Step. Todd Champion will take on Sean Royal of the New Breed. The Mod Squad, Spike and Masher, team up to take on Kendall Windham and Lasertron. Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man, Vine on the card. He goes up against the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, along with Paul Jones, and then it's a special challenge match. The one and only gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, along with Precious, will take on the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, along with Paul Jones. Wednesday, September 23rd, with the bell time of 8:15. The Franklin High School Gym. The NWA, the Major League of Professional Wrestling, comes to Franklin's High School Gym. Texas, 245 pounds, and he is Cold Steel, the challenger. And the champion, the World Television Champion from the Soviet Union, 137 kilos, Nikita Koloff.
Look at this man. There's the championship. The World Television title. And the thing is, Tony, he is defending it soon after he won it.
That's right. And you're seen nationwide putting your title on the line. Time limit much shorter than other matches, and because it's television time limit, of course, right here on TV, and Cold Steel needs to go right at Nikita Koloff.
That's right.
One thing we'll note about Nikita Koloff, and let me say that I'm not slighting any other former champion by saying this, but he will run away from you and let that time limit run out.
You talking about anybody in particular?
No, absolutely not. So there have been a lot of champions who have done this, but Nikita Koloff will not.
Look at this. Here it comes. The sickle. Many a man has gone down to that sickle.
He's still your champion, and he's got a microphone at ringside. In the ring, he does.
Not long ago, the 400 come out here and say, we are going to take all the titles. Well, I feel real bad, Tony President, that I took a title that you used to hold, World TV Champion. And if I see right, my friend Barry Windham, he is still champion. The Rock and Roll are still champions. And I know in my heart it's not going to be long before my super partner Dusty Rhodes is going to be a champion. And it's not going to be long before you, Ric Flair, before Ron Corbin defeats you, and Ron Corbin is champion. So, if you listen, you hear me good. You get your 4 horsemen ready, because it's only a matter of time.
James J. Dillon Tully. He laid it out in plain words, did Nikita Koloff, as far as the horsemen are concerned.
Well, you know, Bob Cottle, Nikita Koloff, and all the rest of the wrestling world knows just exactly how the World Television Championship came to be in his hands. And I'm not going to stand up here and say, oh, cry and moan, and the horsemen aren't going to cry and moan because he hit me with a foreign object. Nikita, all as it is you're one up, and that's the way it is. But you know, there's one thing that history has proven. You don't stay one up on the horsemen very long, or especially Tully Blanchard. Go ask the other half of the superpowers, Dusty Rhodes, how many times that he stayed one up on me. I've got more pinfalls on him than anybody in professional wrestling. Nikita Koloff, you sleep with that World's Television title, because, big boy, it's not going to be around your waist very much longer.
Arn.
Bob Cottle, short and sweet to you, Barry Windham. Just remember one thing. This is 2 of the horsemen that are not in the defense situation. We're on the attack. We're not like Luger and Flair. We don't have to watch our back, watch our every move. We can come after you, Windham, with reckless abandon. Remember one thing, Barry Windham. The thing that makes the horsemen great is we're 4 fantastic single wrestlers. Just remember that. I'm coming for you, Windham.
All right, fans, let's go back to the ring.
In the ring now, the Mod Squad, Spike and Basher. What a rough team they are.
They really are a rough team. I want to say one thing about what Tully Blanchard had to say, and he's right about a lot of things. He has pinned Dusty Rhodes, I guess, or defeated Dusty Rhodes more times than anybody else. And that, nobody else can brag about that, because Dusty Rhodes in his career, you can put all his losses in a thimble. And also Nikita Koloff is the U.S. heavyweight champion. And Tully did hold that belt for a long time.
A very long time.
And also, when the horsemen are down, you think they're down. That's when they're most dangerous. So,
when you think they're down, that's when they come together. That's right. They wrestle as a unit, as a family. You've got to watch them.
And they're after something else, and we've talked about it before. Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express World Tag Team Champions. Sensational team. We don't have to get up here and talk about it because you know about it.
Yes.
But Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, being members of the Horsemen, they're a definite threat. And that's not only because they're great athletes, but because James J's always there. Lex is always lurking in the background, as well as the world champion Ric Flair. That's as much a threat as the 2 men themselves.
It's a state of mind. They breathe it, they live it 24 hours a day.
What a move. Spike of the Mod Squad. We talk about rough, tough teams and the Horsemen. 2 men right here going up against John Savage and Rocky King. Spike and Basher, the Mod Squad. And David, you know, very quietly, I guess, lack of a better term, they have been moving up the ladder very quietly in the NWA. And promoters all over the world now looking at the Mod Squad as top contenders for many of the top tag team titles in the country.
And these 2 men have been all over the world, too.
They really have. They've been regional tag team. They were Florida tag team champions at one time. And that's very, very tough country down there to be champions in. They've said a lot about the Rock and Roll Express also. Different styles, obviously, when you look at the Mod Squad compared to the Rock and Roll Express.
He's squeezing tighter and tighter. John Savage is in trouble.
The NWA, the Franklin High School Gym in Franklin, North Carolina. Wednesday, September 23rd. The bell time there is 8:15. Colt Steele will take on T.J. Khan, the Italian Stallion against the Barbarian. Todd Champion against Sean Royal of the New Breed. The Mod Squad on the card will take on Kendall Windham and Lasertron. Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Vine against the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff. In a special challenge match, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin will take on the Raging Bull along with Paul Jones. Wednesday, September 23rd, the bell time 8:15. The Franklin High School Gym, the NWA.
using the ropes. Breaks just in time.
Sometimes you can win on just sheer athletic ability, but not against these men.
John Savage is trying to stand up in wrestling. You've got to keep him down on the mat. Look at this. This is why. Thatcher comes off. Knocks the air out of him. They're the winners.
And we've seen this so many times in the past couple of months. Those men with their hands raised high. Spike and Basher. You think they're not on a course to be at the top of the list in tag team competition? You're wrong, because they are, David.
Watch out. The Mod Squad. Spike and Basher, slowly but surely moving up the ladder.
Bob Cottle standing by once again with Tony and Arn and James J. Dillon. Bob?
Right you are, Tony, and as you say, we're here with them again. Arn, what is this? What is this?
Stand aside, first of all, Bob. In a civilized society, they use a cage for three things. They either lock animals in it, they put criminals in it, or what they do is they settle wrestling matches within it. Now, rock and roll, you ask a lot of people about a cage match, they don't want to know. They don't know and they don't want to know. But you ask an Anderson, especially me, I know about cage matches because last year in Greensboro, I lost my dream because somebody's head was somewhere else. Well, in Greensboro this time, or anywhere else, I'm getting a second shot. Some people get one shot at greatness. I'm going to get more than one. And I finally got a partner that I know is thinking business. So Ricky Martin, Rock and Roll Express, we're going to settle this thing in a cage. Is there a problem? We don't got to wait to Greensboro. It's been right.
Ricky Martin went out there and started to talk to him. They took that gate and rammed his face right into it.
David, we talked about the dangerous situation against the Horsemen. The World Tag Team Champions found out right there, but it's good to see Ricky, with help of Barry Windham, McKendall, Ronnie Garvin, George South, be able to walk off under his own power because he was really nailed by that cage, and they stomped it down on him.
You said it. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard are after the World Tag Team title held by the Rock and Roll Express.
They talked about the cage, and Arn Anderson talked about in Greensboro losing his dream. He talked about Greensboro, wherever, that he wants to get that dream back. That was a message to Ricky and Rob.
That's right. He says he's not going to lose the dream again. Never again. The Rock and Roll Express, you just had an example of what Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson will do to you to win that championship.
Like we said before, when you think you got the Horsemen down, when you think they're in trouble, that's when they're most dangerous, and that was proof in the pudding right there because those men meant business and meant to hurt Ricky Morton. Put him out, that's fine with them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week on the best in professional wrestling, Worldwide Wrestling.
Coming up next on the Sunday Movie Theater, Richard Dreyfuss is a wisecracking actor who wanders into Marcia Mason's life. Together, they make a strange team. Neil Simon's The Goodbye Girl is next on 13 WLOS.